Every time we forget.
Indeed. So
sum up the game quickly.
So Prithvi Shaw gets Delhi Capitals off to a great start, 30 ball 50, 9 boundaries and 2 sixes. At 67 for no loss in 7 overs, we felt they were in a great total. But Krishnappa Gautam gives them the big breakthrough, followed by Ravi Bishnoi's 2 wickets. Sarfaraz playing his first game and Rishabh Pant tried getting Delhi Capitals to a total near 160, 170, but they ended up with 149 for 3. So 7 overs 67, the next 13 87, 82 if I may add, 82 runs, just over 6 per over. I think that is going to be a death knell for...
What did you guys make of the approach of the Delhi team, especially Rishabh Pant and Sarfaraz Khan? Why were they batting the way that they were? Strike rate of 108 and 120.
You really don't associate it with Rishabh Pant, right? 108. I think good bowling, but I also feel that the pitch is also becoming sluggish for stroke play. I have a feeling
sticking your neck out and saying that?
Maybe, yes, because Pant...
No, don't say maybe now. Stick your neck out and say
I will say that, yeah. Probably the pitch is becoming too-paced. It's becoming difficult for stroke play because whatever lengths they were hitting, even the dew, they are just not getting the timing right.
So, do you think it will be good for the power play overs or not?
I get a feeling because see now Lucknow have the advantage that dew has set in.
Yeah.
Delhi Capitals bowlers are not as accurate as I may say as the Lucknow Super Giants bowlers. I think they have the biggest advantage now, Lucknow.
What do you make of that approach, Arun?
Sarfaraz was good at the beginning, but I don't know, he lost the plot.
3 fours in 28 balls.
And Rishabh was very, very slow in the beginning. Much like Warner, I would say.
Yeah.
Warner's
Warner disappointed on his return. He played a Rohit-esque innings, what he played in last night. 3 of 12, he scored 4 of 12. Shaw was going all guns blazing and he was scoring nothing.
So I can't understand because Siddharth is here saying wicket was double paced. But then what explains Prithvi Shaw's 61 of 34 deliveries? Was it the new ball and because the wicket was a bit fresh there and then it gets slow? One clear distinct difference you could see is when the spinners came on.
Yes.
So it was a clear difference barring the first over by Bishnoi. After that, from the second over that Bishnoi bowled and then when they got Krishnappa Gautam as well who bowled a median. So as soon as the spinners came, and that's an indication that the pitch isn't great to bat on. The fact that Rishabh Pant is gone at a strike rate of 108 also is an indication that it's not a great pitch to bat on, as in the ball is not coming good. Whether it's a par total or not, we'll discuss a little later. But one thing I could attribute that to the reason why Rishabh Pant and Sarfaraz Khan batted the way they did is because at the start of the program we pointed out how probably after Lalit Yadav, that is number 6, I would worry if I was a Delhi Capitals support staff or a team member or even a fan, because Akshar Patel, Shardul Thakur are hit and a miss. You primarily have them in your team as bowlers. They could on certain days give you a lot of runs, on certain days they cannot. So maybe that was the thought in Captain Rishabh Pant's mind and Sarfaraz Khan's mind, that if we take too many risks now and we get out, then maybe we may not even reach 150, 160 or whatever.
But in this case, one of them could have taken the risk, no? Because
but I'm saying there's nobody after.
Shardul Thakur is there.
But that's what I'm saying. That's a hit or a miss.
Yes.
So two things. Maybe one, that the ball wasn't coming onto the bat and so they thought that maybe if there is someone who's best suited, even in these slow conditions, it's the two of us. But the other problem is, and this is again something we had pointed out, Sarfaraz I do not think should be batting there. Roman Powell should not be batting at number 3. They needed to interchange.
Yes.
Because with 2 explosive batsmen, even though David Warner didn't have a great game today, but if he had stayed on for longer, he'll bat like that. That's why you need a Sarfaraz Khan, because he can drop that anchor. Whereas Roman Powell in that India-West Indies series was batting at 4. So he's your 4 or your number 5.
Yes.
Not number 3 batsman.
Yeah.
Sarfaraz could. Maybe that's the mistake.
Also the problem is he came into bat when spinners were bowling. He's more fast bowling.
Looked very uncomfortable.
Yes.
In the time that he spent there, the 10 deliveries that he spent there, totally clueless against the spinners.
And the pressure got him, played such a rash shot.
And that has been the case with West Indies batters. If it's in the slot, it goes outside.
No, but
otherwise, they struggle.
No.
Also because he realized he's going to be helpless against the spinner.
Yeah.
So what do you do in that situation? you
See,
try and
Lucknow were struggling to land the ball. Avesh in particular, he bowled a couple of full tosses. A guy like Rahman Powell could have been ideal for that. But
Yes.
in that situation, see, he already was under pressure, he gave away his wicket.
Yep.
Sarfaraz, as Nikhil said, should have come up at 3. Because he's your kind of sheet anchor role that
The
Mandeep
kind
could
of
have played.
start they got, even a Pant would have made sense at
No,
that point.
no, not Pant. Because you don't know his reckless approach. If it would have cost the match, what would have happened?
Yeah.
Because Pant is again, you can't expect him to defend, but here he was under pressure to defend. 6 of 16, he made up. If you have to look at it, he hit 33 of 20. But 108, you don't associate with Rishabh Pant at all. Even in a test match, you don't associate it.
Yep.
That is the way how he goes about it. But see, Dew is starting to take control now because in the host broadcast, what they're showing, Swan as he's walking, Graham Swan, he's slipping. He's pointing out to the grass. Look at the dew that's there.
No, that even KL Rahul had that towel after every ball was using
Yep.
his towel. So dew is there. That is something you got to watch out for. We saw in the past few games the dew had kind of reduced, and
Yes.
we knew that the chemical that they were using had been delayed a bit. But now again, dew has made a return. At DY
Maybe
Patil.
DY Patil has much more dew because it's further away from the coast, much more humid.
So the chemical didn't help.
I don't know whether the chemical helped or not, but Delhi didn't help themselves by having a very warped batting order.
Yeah.
Even forget Rovman. If you wanted to have that shock factor, get Lalit Yadav up. No,
Yeah, who's been having an outstanding
Yes,
IPL,
yeah.
by the way, with the bat. He
Lalit
went,
Yadav could have given you that shock factor,
Yeah.
and maybe instead of 149, you would have very well had 169,
you
170.
haven't utilized. Galaxy Warrior has a out of the box some very interesting take. He says, you know why David Warner is struggling? Because of his bat sponsors. That can be the reason. He uses DSC. When he used Grey Nicholas, he was a beast.
Oh my goodness! I haven't.
No. The difference between bats today is marginal.
Yeah.
Marginal. And just by changing the sticker on his bat, his form is not going to change.
I know.
As much as I love you, Galaxy Warrior, who joins
I
us.
don't even know how to respond to that.
Dunkelford says he's come to the question straight away. The question that matters. He said, forget everything else. Who did Sid pick today? That will answer everything.
Lucknow Super
I picked
Giants.
Lucknow. Again, the streak could end today. Although it's 12.5. I got the score prediction wrong. In fact, all of us got the score prediction wrong.
So Galaxy pointed it out too, saying today Sid picked Lucknow Super Giants, and Dunkelford said, man, today he's going to break the
yes.
jinx.
I hope so. But again, as I said, in the last couple of games, something freakish has happened to prolong my streak. Who would have thought Pat Cummins would hit 35 or 1 over?
I just said before the live, Nokia will take a 5.
Northia will take a 5-er. Okay.
Okay.
So it's like
It's a Delhi
all
Capital
blame, no?
fans.
So
in
it's-
Arun.
the Delhi Capitals fans thinking I've given them a 10 rupee gola. They're thinking it's the Himalayas.
So Varun Parvataneri says Pant struggling will only make a big case for DK's return, and we can have both Sky and Shreyas at
No,
4 and
no,
5
no.
with DK. No, too early. Yeah.
Too early again.
Too
No.
far-fetched.
Too
Won't happen.
preemptive.
Yeah,
Too preemptive.
Varun, we love you too. You're a regular watcher. But though I have to disagree with you here. Chaitanya Gupta. He says, Nikhil sir, I really don't think that even Sarfaraz is a number 3. Okay, he makes an interesting point because we had said, I agree with you. Is he your ideal number 3? Not quite. But under the circumstances, he could be your best number 3, is our point. Is he better than Mandeep Singh? I'm guessing yes.
Yes.
Mandeep Singh had failures in the 2 games that he played. By that regard, Sarfaraz is still had a decent game. Scored if the conditions were tough. If someone like Rishabh Pant was struggling to get runs really quickly. With that in mind, Sarfaraz got a strike rate of 128, much higher than
much
Pant's,
higher, yeah.
almost the same amount of runs. So maybe he is better suited. And we also spoke about how he's coming in with great form from domestic cricket. So under the circumstances, he could be a better bet, but not where he is batting. I don't think he's suited to that position. He's a kind of guy who probably needs some time and then can go bang bang. I remember for RCB they used to make him bat down the order and he used to try these shuffling, going out the down the offside, trying to
worked for one
scoop, trying to scoop the ball and things like that. Because he's not like a guy who uses muscle power and whack it.
Yeah.
He would be smart, like shuffle, play a scoop, things like that, and get runs.
Rely on timing more.
Yes.
Exactly. But again, looking at the spinners, why I'm saying it could end the streak today, but looking at even Delhi have got good spinners.
Yeah,
Oh, yes,
they
Akshar
do.
has often tied down KL Rahul.
Kuldeep Yadav.
Kuldeep. a second rebirth for Kuldeep, considering how well he's bowled in the last 2 games. So it will not be easy.
Yeah.
But again, Dew in the second innings, that might be a negative factor. But
There is already Dew.
And
There's already
Dew is the biggest villain for Kuldeep Yadav.
and remember, he's a left arm.
Because he really struggles and he just then throws the ball away and then
Yes.
goes leg side.
But
and
again,
do
he's a
whatever.
left arm orthodox. This guy, Chinaman.
Chinaman.
With the Lucknow batting, they have got the likes of Quinton, they have got Evan, 2 left-handers in the top 4. So how effective will a left armer be to left armer?
Do you expect him to bowl in the power plays?
No, I'm saying even after that. How effective will he be to left-handers?
But Deacock will be dismissed, no, in the power play overs.
Says who? By whom? Who's your bowler? Tell me. You mean to say
Norke.
Northiya?
Yeah.
I'm saying Mustafizur has a better chance.
Could
Of
be.
dismissing Quinton de Kock.
Yeah. Mustafiz
It's okay.
cutter.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. But
I
Northiya
don't care who
5-4.
dismisses him.
If Northiya takes a 5-4, then I'm destined to be 0-74 the full season.
Okay, going to take questions. Akash Pense says, can Ishan or DK replace Pant in the World Cup? They can, but will they? That's a bigger question. Not at the moment. Unless Pant has a disastrous IPL, fails in every
And I'll
game,
say,
and
I don't
DK and
think
Ishan
Ishan
are
is a
outstanding.
top-
Ishan did play in the 2021 World
No,
Cup. He
Ishan started
Because of
well.
his, batting position.
No, yeah, but I'm just saying he would be okay to bat at 4 also. He's batted at 4 for Mumbai sometimes,
Yeah.
Ishan earlier. I'm saying he started well, then had a failure, Ishan. So again, there's a lot of matches to be played. So these questions, whatever we say right now may make no sense because you don't know what happens at the end of the IPL. Giant Slayer says, which team did Siri pick today so I can bet on the winner and win some cash? He has picked
Lucknow Super Giants.
Super Giants.
I'm sorry to disappoint all trolls, but it looks like my streak is ending. I can just feel it.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 questions that we had. One was with Hetmeyer. Sorry, I've forgotten your name, or it just went by really quickly. Somebody said Delhi made a mistake by not retaining Hetmeyer. I have another question which says Delhi made a mistake by letting go of Shreyas Iyer. On both counts, they did make a mistake, but you couldn't retain everyone.
But Shreyas wanted to be captain, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So on that
But
front,
on the Admire front, I think they made a huge mistake.
The biggest mistake that Delhi did, not letting of Kagiso Rabada. Rabada, Northiya, you needed your bowling core to be.
See what happens when you let go of a good player, then it's a mistake only. But you can't retain everyone.
Rather than Northiya, you should retain Rabada.
Every team you are pointing out, na? Chennai shouldn't have let go Hazelwood, Faf du Plessis.
In hindsight, it is now looking disastrous at the auction table. They let go of Faf, they let go of Hazelwood.
And Chennai shouldn't have picked that Michel Sandner also.
Doesn't make sense actually.
Because they don't let him play, no?
Yeah, where does Santner play when Jadeja is playing?
Exactly.
Bhavya Parekh points out a valid thing, saying next match Marsh could come in for Powell and bat at number 3 given his fitness status. But what is the status?
you
The
answer this
status,
question.
Bhavya, I am
Yes.
saying Marsh is not yet certain when he will come back. Ricky Ponting, the head coach, had said, we are monitoring Marsh's fitness, and even Marsh had said, I will continue my recovery on the sidelines of the IPL when he had left the Pakistan series.
Because Sid has said that it will take time for Marsh to recover.
He'll recover.
He'll recover in time.
Am I an alchemist to really cure people just like
Everything.
that? Wow.
Chaitanya Gupta says if Sarfaraz is not the ideal number 3, neither is Mandeep nor Powell, then they are left
I
with
think Lalit-
only a under 19.
Yashdul.
Yashdul.
I suggested.
No, but I think Sarfaraz is a better choice.
Yeah.
In the likely 11 that we had picked before the IPL started, we had picked Sarfaraz based on his domestic form.
And
And
more
again,
experience.
let's be fair to him. He's played that one game, has done decently well. We'll only know the value of that knock at the end of the game.
Yes.
If it is really tough for everyone to bat, then this may have been a very crucial knock.
Indeed.
So to say now that he's not,
Partnership of 75.
Varun Parvataneni says, like the wicket got better yesterday in the second innings. If it does, then LSG can finish it early. Yes, we'd be hoping for. But will the wicket get better? We'd have to wait and watch. In Pune, it does happen quite often. DY Patil was a big scoring ground so far, but again, this game, I don't know whether it's an aberration or really the pitch has slowed down, because eventually pitches will begin to slow down as the season progresses. Has it already started happening? We'll have to see the second innings to be definite about that. Virendra Singh Rathore says, Nikhil sir, I think number 3 is concerned for Delhi, and why not Delhi try Yash Dhul? Virendra, same thing we've been discussing. They can look at Yash, but again, I'm saying why start panicking so early? If Mitch Marsh comes, then again it's sorted. Assuming he doesn't, I would still play Sarfaraz there for 2-3 games. If he doesn't come off, then maybe you look at another option. Maybe by that time Mitch Marsh is fit.
Hopefully. Hopefully. Like I said, Deepak Chahar will be back only on April 25. So far that seems to be true.
We've got a point. Anish Nakraze should be an easy chase for LSG. I think so, as of now.
I don't think it will be that easy. I don't think.
Delhi fan.
No comments.
No, I'm not just saying it as a fan, but
as an analyst.
Yeah, but DC have a good bowling lineup.
Indeed. I'm not saying anything, boss.
Who is Devansh is saying, who's the new guy? Introduce yourself. This is Arun.
Arun Rahul, I'm not the new guy. I've been here
He's
before,
been
not
here
in
before.
this particular studio, but yes, I've done lives for Sports Today. You must have.
He works with SportsTak. I mean, he works with our sports team, but at the moment is designated to be working on SportsTak, which is our app. If you haven't downloaded it, do it.
Do it.
Okay, so Prasad Bhagat is signing off with one. In 2020, would have predicted that Corona will destroy the whole world. No, I never predicted that Corona will destroy the world.
No.
I'm not the anti-Nostradamus here.
Devgan says 3 out of the 4 teams of the playoffs last season are looking completely out of touch. Why? Because they erred at the auction table. Clearly, Chennai Super Kings and Mumbai Indians did. I thought so. Hyderabad, they already had a disastrous season, so I can't say they erred or they did bad, because anything they do would be only better than what they did last season. But I can't say the same for Mumbai Indians and Chennai, which were like right on top, right? So they came down on that front. Delhi Capitals been making the playoffs, but I think they also faltered. But see, this is again, you got to look at the larger picture. The issue has been that because you've now got 10 teams, every team would have to have weaknesses. Now, because that pool is restricted, best players now have to be divided over the 10 teams. So,
do you remember when we picked teams just after the auction?
Yes,
we were more concerned about Gujarat Titans, but it
We
has
were.
been the other way around. We rated Delhi 8.5 or 8,
something like that. So even actually, to be fair, that was at the auction. But when I started making my 11s on Sports Today, when I sat at that time, I realized that Delhi may miss it. That's why I didn't pick them in my top 4. But I agree that Gujarat Titans, I didn't rate them very highly. I don't think a lot of people did, and they're proving all of us wrong. Because sometimes what happens, see, we judge team based on paper and combination and expecting what each player will do. The certain thing that we can never account for is the spirit within the team, and that spirit is very crucial, because what that does is, if you see T20 games, they go very close, and that's where the spirit or the leadership comes, where certain teams make it a habit to win those close games, certain teams make it a habit to lose those close games, where teams are evenly matched. So that you can only find out when you see a few games. So that there was no way for us to judge that. Having said that, even now it's early days. One team could still take the upward trend, one team could,
for example,
still.
we didn't pick Badoni in LSG 11.
Yes, no,
look what he's
neither
doing
did I.
right now.
Yeah, exactly. You couldn't have accounted for that, right? Nobody would have accounted for Badoni to do that. So that's what happened. Those are the unknowns. Ravi Bishnoi is a serious contender for T20 World Cup. Bapi says, of course he is. He was, even before the IPL started, a serious contender. He was part of the white ball team and did fairly well. So he was already there. On that note, we'll take your leave. Before we go, reminder, don't forget to download the Gamezy app and then make your fantasy team. The link is in the descriptor. If you click on that link and then download the app, you get extra cash rewards that Gamezy adds to your account. And you can even make teams in the middle of the innings. That's only something that is allowed on Gamezy.